Jason, as we touched on out there, crazy game. Your opposition coach said that the refs did a fair to good job, but as two clubs, we sort of lost the plot. Would you align yourself with those comments?
Yeah, I think the emotion got the better of both teams at times, and we got to take some responsibility in that, as the Roosters do. So yeah, I thought early on we probably could have stamped a bit of that out and been a bit stronger early, and that might have helped it. But it's a tricky one these days. So they're the rules in terms of contact with the head, and although I don't think many of them are deliberate, other than the head slam, the rest are just it's a difficult one, but it is what it is.
When the media hype up the rivalry and build it up, make a big thing of it, why did today's game reach the levels it did when other contests in the past didn't, perhaps?
Well, I think the conditions played a big part in it today. We've come through a pretty cold winter and a lot of dewy games, and today was dry and it was fast, and that means people getting themselves not quite in positions that they would normally get themselves into due to fatigue. I think that played a big part in the collisions that ended up going the wrong way.
Cam, how aware were you of the craziness, 7 sin binnings, and what were you saying during the game at different points?
Yeah, I don't know. We're just trying to do our best out there, so it's a bit of a hectic game. But I said before, that's what finals footy is. Emotions are high, and everyone's trying to do the best they can for the team. And sometimes it just overspills a little bit, and that's the way it is. But can't let things that you can't control affect the way that we play. And I thought we were down and out there a few times, and boys kept turning up. So really proud of everyone's effort.
Cam, it seemed like you were down and out when you went to 11 men, and yet you scored 2 tries. What was the mindset out there? What were you thinking?
Yeah, it's a bit characteristic of us to play our best footy when we're down a few men, and we've shown it previously in some games earlier on in the year. And I'm not too sure. I think we just know that we can't overplay our hand. We've got to keep it simple, and I don't think we go out of our process when we play with with a couple men down. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a straight answer for you. I just think, like I said before, we dug deep. Really proud of everyone. They just they played their heart out. They played for their teammates, and that's why I love playing for this club. And with the boys out there, it's just it's pretty special moments like that.
What were the instructions, Jason, when 11 men when no one?
Yeah, we just we got to hold the ball, not give them too much footy. So if you go and set for set, then that 10 minutes is 5 minutes that you're defending, and we've got a mindset that we're inside out, and we don't let them come through us, make them go around us, so we give ourselves a chance to defend as much as we can. And Latrell got himself in the line, but the reality is when we go down to that, the concentration levels go up because you're down 2 men, and like Cam said, I think that has a big part of it. We were down to 11 men twice, and I think we scored in both times and didn't concede a try. So, but in that, we come up with some pretty big try-saving tackles as well, which were pretty special.
You must be happy with that defence as well, because it wouldn't be the first time we've sat here this year and you've complained about your defence, saying it's not where it should be. But then 20 minutes in the second half with a final on the line, you really showed out. Yeah,
for sure. And I think since the Dragons game, our defence has been a big part of our game. It has been, other than last week, which we didn't really prep for the game. We lost Cam early. We didn't have Cookie, so defensively that exposed us a little bit, but. Other than that, over the 10 weeks, we've been up there with the best teams in the comp defensively, and that's why we come in today confident. If we can keep teams under 14 points, we'll back ourselves to win most games.
How is Cookie?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's just blowing. He hasn't had a game for 2 weeks, and off the back of COVID, he was blowing out there a fair bit. I had every intention of only bringing him off for 5 or 6 minutes and getting him back on, but we'd scored a try, and the scoreline sort of blew out a little bit, so I was happy just to wait it out and see if he can stay off. And Saliva did a good job tightening up the middle for us as well.
And you mentioned the head slam. Obviously, you're happy with that?
No, not at all. And I think it's something we're talking about. Concussions as a serious part of our game. We're talking about the referees and the game as a whole doing things to make sure that we're protecting the players. But if a player wants to hold somebody who's defenceless and slam his head in the ground, where does the responsibility come back on the player? I just think it's an ordinary act. And I think the game has to come down on it. They know what they're doing. You know what you're doing when you're slamming a bloke's head in the ground. And I just think as a player, you've got to have some respect for the opposition. If you don't, then who are you?
Do you think I targeted Tom because of obviously those high shots that he got singed in for?
No, not really. I think they're just 2 big men going at it. But it's not just the Roosters. It's across the board. It happens. It's happening too often. We see it all the time. And the head slam when a bloke's defenceless and it happens accidentally sometimes, but the deliberate ones, we've got to come down on them. I just think that, we're getting 3 men in a tackle, we're locking the ball up, he's defenceless, and we're slamming him down with 120 kilos of weight in the back of the head. I mean, Tom's a big man, but he was, everyone saw how bad he got out of that tackle, and, not just saying it just for Tom, but for all the players, and all players that take a real serious look at how we look after each other is important.
Cam, there was an incident not dissimilar involving yourself in front of the post there. How did that one play out, mate, and was it a head slam as well?
Oh, I don't know. Look, I have to watch the tape back, but I pulled up fine from it, and it was what it was. So,
JD, plenty of attention again from the crowd to Latrell. How proud are you though that he put in the performance that he did?
Yeah, I knew he would. He had real intent on his week this week. He trained really well. All the noise around him, he didn't affect him. He come in, he was real focused on his role. We spoke about a few things tactically that we wanted to get him in areas where that would expose them rather than him just getting bullied all the time. And he did that. I think his first try summed that up, the way he hit that rather than trying to ball play. And he was really good for us this week. He did a real great prep in terms of looking after his own job, and that filtered onto the rest of the team.
There was obviously last week they made quite a point of kicking to him and really bashing him up, as you say. So he kicks the ball back first tackle. Was that part of the plan?
Yeah, we should have kicked it back first set. We locked him in, and then the ball went to AJ. So the plan was to kick it straight back again, but probably not on the third set when there was a bit more fatigue in the game. Not sure the middles appreciated it when he kicked it back, but we just wanted to switch it up a little bit and do something that we could turn it a tide on them. And that's finals, you're trying to add little things here and there just to challenge, we're playing against one of the best coaches in the game. Trent's, what he's done at the Roosters and what he's done over the last 10 years is phenomenal, and we know how well they're going to be prepped. So if we can do the odd little thing here and there just to challenge that preparation, then it gets us on the front foot a little bit.
James, Cronulla survived that epic last night. Now you've had that crazy game. Does the 80 minutes you just saw change anything you do over the next week in preparation for week 2 against the Sharks?
Oh, not really. We're just, there's some things that we can tidy up, I think, in and around the ruck, which we'll need to do. But like I said, the weather's getting warmer, the track's getting faster, and we'll look at that a little bit. But and we'll, like I said, we'll go into look at them closer now. I deliberately haven't looked at either of them. I don't like to jinx ourselves and start looking ahead, especially in finals. But coaches and myself will get stuck into that tomorrow, and by Tuesday we'll nail it.
JD, how important is Cody Walker's experience there, especially when you do go down to 11 on 12 or 13, and yet he's laying on tries? How does he actually do that in that situation?
Yeah, he's a generational player in my opinion. What he can do with the footy, not many in the game can do. His game smarts and his ability to execute, and the leaders spoke this week about the things they liked that their teammates, their fellow leaders bring, and that was one of the things that Cody we spoke about, was the right play at the right time. And yeah, he's been in some good form over the last 2 months, and he's playing with a smile on his face, and sets us up nicely for the final series.
JD, how much concern is there that you could be without some players next week, potentially facing suspensions?
Oh, it's concerning, but to be honest, I don't think they're that bad. I think Tom's first one was on report. I thought his second one was, it's a fine at best, but and Tane's a clumsy. So based on what the game's done over this course of the season, and I think they're looking at some fines, but we don't know, and it is what it is. We'll wait and see, and whatever it is, we'll deal with it. We've got some players lined up, ready to go, and that's why the squad's important. But also, we've got the benefit of using the suspension next year. I think that's a new policy that we're using. Is that we can? Yeah, can we do that? The fans want to see him play, so.
I knew every coach would tuck that in the back pocket.
Yeah, it's got to be, don't it? Surely I'll have a word to Pete and get some petition going. The fans will show their interest, and we'll serve it next season.
Good luck.
Thanks, boys.